may be thinking, you know what, but I don't have a lot of people that follow me, and I don't know if anyone would want to come on my show. But remember this, any audience is a new audience to them. What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be talking to you about something that I actually love talking about. Coming from the PR background in public relations, I love talking about how to build your influence, and it is no different in today, 2022, than it was way back when. You are still using the same type of tactics, but the communication channels are going to be a little bit different. Let's jump into this video, and I'm very excited. I think it's going to change the way you think about creating influence, and I'm very excited to get you going. So before I jump into these 3 tips, the first thing I want to talk to you about is public relations is all about getting in front of audiences that you may not have known before and putting yourself on the map. Now, in the past, we have always had to do this with press releases or news blotters or something like that, where we are sending out to journalists and we're hoping and praying and crossing our fingers that they will be interested in what we have to talk about and they will use us, okay? That's generally how it works. And I've done a few videos on how you can start your own PR and kind of get yourself out there. But in 2022, the thing that is just blowing this out of the water, where it's not even necessary anymore, is really all of the different pieces of media that are out there by individuals just like you and I. Now, inside of the course, the Unleash Your Profit course, I talk a lot about OPP. And what we call this is other people's platforms. And what that means is that we try to get ourselves on other people's platforms that have a very similar audience to us so that we can talk about our message and share our story and share what we do on those platforms, which is something that is interesting as well to their audience and is going to help them give them value and things like that. Now, you may think it's daunting to reach out to some of these podcasters or some of these YouTubers that you might want to, get on their show or anything like that. But if you do it right, you won't have a problem, and you have to realize that they are always looking for content. Just like you, they are looking for different ways to create content, different ways to create influence, and different ways to get in front of other audiences. So just a few tips for when you're reaching out to any of these media producers or content creators. The first thing you want to do is do a little bit of research and really figure out if this is the audience for you. Who listens to their podcast? What is it about their podcast that they like? You just want to find out a little bit more about who you're going to be speaking to, right? You need to always know your audience. Number 2 is when you do reach out, you need to make sure that you're reaching out trying to offer value, not trying to say, hey, I'm amazing. You're not marketing yourself here. You're saying, here's what I think I can offer to your audience. And that will depend on the type of research that you have done. That's why that's so important. So lastly, when you are reaching out to these people, understand that they're very busy. They're probably getting a lot of different emails. You may have to reach out to them more than once, and that is totally fine. They may or may not respond right away, and it's a very similar path that every public relations specialist out there has ever had to go through to really get a client on or anything like that. Now, that was the first piece of increasing your influence, right? And the reason I like to talk about increasing your influence is because when you increase your influence and you reach more people, you're able to also increase your income, and you have the ability with more income to increase your impact. And that's why it's so important to really focus on influence. Now, influence is the I in the social method, and it's not something you should be doing maybe early on. We want to make sure that you've got your S, O, and C in the right places and you've got all that set up. That means that you're ready and prepared for people to come into your business and ready and prepared for them to possibly purchase from you or to connect with you, and you have a place for them to go. This area of influence all sounds great, but when you have possibly an influx of people and you don't have your foundation set up, which is something that we really teach you inside of the Unleash Your Profit course. So if that's something you want to do, definitely go check that out. You don't want to start that until you are ready with the S, O, and C, which is the searchable media, the optimization, and the community aspect. So once those are all set up and ready to rock, then you can start thinking about the influence portion. So now that we've talked about the first part of the influence portion, which is your OPP, I want to move into the next section, which is you become the interviewer. Now, I have done this in my career probably, I don't know, I do it all the time. It's part of what I do and who I am. But I love finding new people to interview and talk to and learn about. And I just have a natural curiosity for what other people are doing and how they got there and all of those types of things. So one of the things you might want to consider is becoming the interviewer, figuring out who your audience would want to know about, what types of things they might want to learn, and then bringing those types of people onto your show or your searchable media. It could be interviewing someone via a blog, it could be interviewing someone via a YouTube channel, or it could be via a podcast, whatever the case. And you may be thinking, you know what, but I don't have a lot of people that follow me, and I don't know if anyone would want to come on my show. But remember this, any audience is a new audience to them, right? And so most times, if you're thinking in the vein of like, well, that person's building their audience, I'm building my audience, and I think this might be a nice way to collaborate and really get together. And some people will call these collabs. I don't like to call them collabs because I felt like those were a little too loose. And it was like a do something for me, I'll do something for you. So I want to make sure that you understand that you are going to be the interviewer and you're going to be interviewing them and allowing them to use your platform to really talk about who they are and share their message and share their journey and their story and all of that. So that's really important to understand when you become the interviewer. Now, the last piece is very simple. The last piece is you become a curator. So there are things that you love or that you're interested in, or people that you enjoy, or messages that you've heard that you want to share with your audience. And those are excellent ways to really increase influence, because what that does is it shows people a little bit more of who you are as a creator, your values, the things that you believe, and it allows them to be able to align with you. And that is extremely helpful when it comes to building a relationship with your audience when you're not one-on-one with them. I want you to either use OPP, other people's platforms. I want you to become the interviewer, or I want you to start curating your content. So whether that's adding in someone else's content into your YouTube video, or sharing a blog piece in your blog, or bringing someone onto your podcast, if that's how your podcast is set up, or your YouTube or your blog or whatever. But realize that you can change that, and you can make your media source or your space on the internet open to all of those. I've done interviews on this, I've done one-on-ones, I've shared different pieces of content on here. And so I think that it's really important for everyone to remember that this is your space, essentially like your media, so you can do whatever you would like with it and you're in control. And that's what makes the internet so awesome, because you have the ability to also show the world who you are just by the people that you bring on, all of the different things, okay? So I want you to choose either one of those or all three of them, or one or two, however you'd like. I would like you to choose a couple of those and then start to add those into your marketing plan and how you do things. And that's why I call the social method really your down and dirty marketing plan, because it's just a really quick way to think about your marketing, what's most important, and how you're going to set things up, and really all the areas that you need to check off when you're running a business. So if you want to check out the social method, you can watch that right here. And again, I do teach this inside of the course. If that's something that you want to either be coached on, or you want to go through the course and you want to learn it, that is great as well. So I'd love to see you in there. But that is it for today. I really hope this video helped you. And I would love to know what method you're going to use in your business to increase your influence. If you leave that down in the comments section down below, that'd be awesome. Don't forget to turn on the bell notifications if you like this content. Press the like if you like this content, and I will see you guys next week. I want you guys to get out there and unleash something amazing. Bye guys.